Okay, we're going to continue on in our Father's Word today. This is Mark 13, verse 33. It says, "Take heed, watch and pray, for you do not know when the time is. It is like a man going to a far country who has left his house and gave authority to his servants, and to each his work, and commanded the doorkeeper to watch. Watch therefore, for you do not know when the master of the house is coming, in the evening, at midnight, at the crowing of the rooster in the morning. That's coming suddenly. He finds you sleeping. And what I say to you, I say to all, watch. Watchers, watch. Watch for the time." Israel became a nation, 1948. Final generation of flesh man. Now, 40 years was a generation for Moses in the desert, the 70-year captivity in Babylon, and in Genesis 6, God promises 120 years. So when you add 1948 and 120, you get 2068, and it's going to happen before then. So we've got maybe 20, 30, 40 more years. Or it could be tomorrow. That's up to God. I don't know. But we know that we're in the final generation, the final days. And this is what we're living through right now. So you certainly don't want to fly off with Satan, rapture nuts. It's the unpardonable, unforgivable sin if one of God's elect doesn't fulfill their divine destiny. So we're going to continue on in Mark 13. "Watch therefore, you do not know when the master of the house is coming, in the evening, at midnight, at crowing of the rooster, or in the morning. That's coming suddenly. He finds you sleeping. And what I say to you all, watchers, watch." Now this is Mark 14, but I want to read to you Matthew 24. Tells you basically the same thing. And Luke 21. Now this is Matthew 24. "And Jesus went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came up to show him the building of the temple. And Jesus said to them, Do you not see all these things? Assuredly I say to you, not one stone shall be left here upon another that shall not be thrown down." Now as he sat on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came to him privately, saying, "Tell us, when will all these things be? And what will be the sign of your coming and of the end of the age?" And Jesus answered and said to them, "Take heed that no one deceives you. For many will come in my name, saying, I am the Christ, and will deceive many. And you will hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you are not troubled, for all these things must come to pass. But the end is not yet. For nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there be famines, pestilences, and earthquakes in various places. And all these are the beginning of sorrows. Then they will deliver you up to tribulation and kill you, and you will be hated by all nations for my name's sake. And then many will be offended, will betray one another, and will hate one another. Then many false prophets will rise up and deceive many. And because of lawlessness will abound, the love of many will grow cold. But he endures to the end shall be saved. And the gospel of this kingdom will be preached in all the world as a witness to all nations. And then the end will come. And therefore when you see the abomination of desolation, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, standing in the holy place, pretending to be Yahweh, Jehovah God. Whoever reads, let him understand. Then let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains. Let him who is on the housetop not go down to take anything out of his house, and let him who is in the field not go back to get his clothes. Now this is all written and read. This is what Jesus said. But woe to those who are pregnant and to those who are nursing babies in those days. And pray that your flight may not be in winter or on the Sabbath. For then there will be great tribulation, such as not been seen since the beginning of the world unto this time, nor ever shall be. And unless those days were shortened, we just read about that in Revelation 9, no flesh would be saved. But for the elect's sakes, those days will be shortened. Then if anyone says to you, look, here is the Christ, or there, do not believe it. For false Christs and false prophets will rise and show great signs and wonders, to deceive, if possible. Oh, Satan, he'll buy you a new car, new truck, new motorcycle. Pay all your bills. All you got to do is bow down and worship him. He'll snap his fingers and lightning will come from the sky. He's got all kind of parlor tricks. All you got to do is bow down and worship him. Take his mark. For false Christ and false prophets will rise and show great signs and wonders to deceive, if possible, even the elect. See, I have told you beforehand. Therefore, if they say to you, look, he is in the desert, do not go out. Or look, he is in the inner rooms, do not believe it. For as the lightning comes from the east and flashes to the west, so will the coming of the Son of Man be. For wherever the carcass is, there the eagles will be gathered together. Immediately after tribulation of those days, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light. The stars will fall from heaven, and the powers of heaven will be shaken. Then the sign of the Son of Man will appear in heaven, and then all the tribes of the earth will mourn. And they will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he will send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they will gather together his elect from the four winds and from one end of heaven to the other. Now learn this parable from the fig tree. When its branch has already become tender and puts forth leaves, you know that summer is near. So also, when you see all these things, know that it is near, at the doors. Assuredly, I say to you, this generation will by no means pass away till all these things take place. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will by no means pass away. But of that day and hour no one knows, not even the angels of heaven, but my Father only. But as the days of Noah were, so will be the coming of man be. For in those days before the flood, they were eating and drinking and marrying and giving in marriage until the day that Noah entered the ark, and did not know until the flood came and took them all away. So also will the coming of the Son of Man be. Then the two men will be in the field, one will be taken and the other left. Two women will be grinding at the mill, one will be taken and the other left. Watch therefore, for you do not know what hour your Lord is coming. But know this, that if the master of the house had known what hour the thief would come, he would have watched and not allowed his house to be broken into. Therefore you also be ready, for the Son of Man is coming at an hour you do not expect. Who then is faithful and wise servant, whom his master made ruler over his household, to give them food in due season. Blessed is the servant whom his master, when he comes, will find you so doing. Assuredly, I say to you, that he will make him ruler over all his goods. But if that evil servant says in his heart, my master is delaying his coming, and begins to beat his fellow servants and to eat and drink with the drunkards, the master of that servant will come on a day when he is not looking for him, and in an hour that he is not aware of, and will cut him in two and appoint him portions with the hypocrites. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Now, this is written again in Luke 21. And he looked up and saw the rich puffing their gifts into the treasury. And he also saw a poor widow woman putting in 2 mites. And he said, truly, I say to you, that this poor widow has put in more than all. For all these out of their abundance have put in offerings for God. But she out of her poverty put in all the livelihood that she had,